สวัสดีค่ะ Assistant Secretary of State for East Asian and Pacific Affairs Kurt Campbell recently visited Thailand. Nation Group Editor-in-Chief Sutichai Yun discussed with him the United States policy towards Asia and its relation with China.
Mr. Campbell, is President Obama coming to Thailand?
I'm certain he will, not on this trip. He's very much looking forward to hosting all his friends from Asia and elsewhere at APEC in Hawaii. And then he'll be going to Bali for the East Asia Summit, and he'll visit Australia on this trip. Our hope will be that Secretary Clinton will come to visit, and we are looking forward over the course of the next couple of months to really step up our engagement with Thailand.
Why not Bangkok this time? Why does he skip Bangkok?
I really don't think of it as skipping Bangkok. Obviously, we're very grateful that he's coming out to the region, and we'll be looking for opportunities for high-level engagement and for the president to meet the new prime minister.
But he needs to be here to show that America is really back in Asia, as Secretary Clinton told me here 2 years ago.
But look, I think over the course of the last couple of years, we've demonstrated pretty clearly that the United States is absolutely determined to step up our role in the Asia-Pacific region. And we've done so. More consequential economic, political, strategic, military engagement. And we're going to continue that. If anything, it's going to be stepped up further going forward. So I know the president wants very much to have a chance to visit and spend more time in Asia.
Why is Asia suddenly becoming so important?
Well, I don't think that there's anything about this as sudden. First of all, the United States has had a deep and strong relationship with Asia for decades. But there is a growing recognition globally that the lion's share of the history of the 21st century is going to be written in Asia. And so we're in the process.
It's the Asian century.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think America's going to have a large role in this century as well. But I would say that we're in the process of a pivot, a rebalancing of our foreign policy priorities. Clearly, we're going to have critical, enduring challenges in the Middle East and South Asia. Iraq, Afghanistan, all of the things associated with the various uprisings and opportunities that they present. But we are pivoting stronger military, economic, strategic, and political engagement in Asia going forward. And we think that's entirely appropriate and wise.
Is it basically economic or security? Well, what would be the percentage between the balance or rebalancing?
Yeah, that's such an American question. I mean, asking for a precise answer, and I'm going to give you an Asian answer. It is a mixture of incentives and opportunities. It's a chance for deeper cultural engagement. We have launched a program that will increase the number of Americans who study in China over 4 years to 100,000. Very substantial effort supported by the private sector.
Americans studying in China?
In China, as opposed to the reverse. There's enormous discussion about Chinese coming to the United States. But we are now attempting to send a much larger group of Americans to study in Asia, particularly in China, because we recognize how important that is. And they are not always the positive issues as well. We have very real challenges, transnational issues, questions of piracy, of nuclear proliferation. I would be one of those people that would suggest that some of what we're dealing with in terms of dramatic weather events clearly is a consequence of
you did a book on that.
I did, rapidly approaching climate change. And so these are all issues that summon us to greater involvement in Asia, and we're going to rise to that challenge.
But we usually look at foreign diplomacy as self-interest, that what would you get by getting more active in a certain area? But what would the Americans get by getting more active in Asia?
Well, let me say that, let's just talk on the economic front for a moment. The United States, until very recently, has been remarkably self-sufficient. Virtually 96% of our overall product is, its final destination is in markets in the United States. We have never, as a nation, been particularly reliant on our exports. We have been a remarkable sponge when it comes to our ability to absorb imports, but we've never needed to rely on export-led growth. But the United States is in the process of making a transition, a rebalancing of our economic set of activities, in which we will sell more to Asia. We will be more involved in Asia, not just in the traditional areas like aerospace or construction or excavation, but in a whole host of knowledge-leading enterprises and other areas. And I find that incredibly exciting. And that prospect of greater economic engagement, again, not just absorbing imports from Asia, but as part of the rebalancing, exporting to Asia is clearly one of the most important things that can be done to assist in the global rebalancing.
Inevitably, the question would be that Americans are worried about the Chinese influence and that you're coming back to balance the Chinese influence in South China Sea, in the overall ASEAN and East Asian relationship. Are you really worried about the Chinese rising influence?
I would say look at our actions, and we've made very clear that we believe that one of the most important things that the United States can do is to build a strong, durable, comprehensive partnership between the United States and China, and that we believe that our countries are not destined to fall into a self-fulfilling prophecy of negative competition. We think that our two countries can work together, that the Asian Pacific region is big enough to support both of us. And I'm confident that we can find venues, arenas of cooperation, and avoid the negative aspects of competition that in the past have plagued two rival states. We respect what China has accomplished. We have been able to work with them closely on a range of issues, and we think we can do that going forward. And so at the very heart of our understanding of Asia in the current circumstances is the knowledge that most countries in Asia want a better relationship with China. That is an essential feature of modern diplomacy. And because we recognize that, we are then able to say, look, we'll help you facilitate that improving relationship. We're also grateful for the fact that most countries in Asia want a better relationship with the United States at the same time.